You ever wake up to find two Subarus, a clipboard, and a drone parked at your gate before you've even had your first cup of coffee? Yeah, that happened to me. Picture this. It's barely past 7. Sun just cracking the sky, and I'm standing there in my bathrobe and rubber boots holding my 12 gauge like it's nothing more than a broom barrel aimed at the ground. Bright orange chamber flag dangling for all the world to see. I'm not looking for trouble. The drone zipping around my barn like a government hummingbird camera lens, staring straight at my place, and out steps this woman, pristine business, casual, perfect hair, and the kind of smile that says she's never heard the word no in her whole life. She stares at me through my own fence and with the authority of a traffic cop at a lemonade stand tells me, "Sir, you're in violation of the stucco color palette requirements." I mean, you can't make this stuff up. One of my cows sneezed behind me so loud it echoed off the barn. I just leaned on the post, casual as can be, and called out, "Y'all lost or just feeling brave before you've had your coffee." My name's Nolan Price, by the way. I'm just a rancher. I like my coffee at sunrise, a country playlist, in my diesel, and minding my own business. Something folks in the next neighborhood over seem to think is a federal offense. Now, my 60 acres butt right up to a place called Juniper Hollow, one of those HOAs where the fences are metaphors and dogs are basically throw pillows with leashes. Their president, that'd be Beatrice Crowell. Imagine a helmet-shaped bob pearls at sunrise and the spiritual vibe of a parking boot locked on your car, except you can't cut it off. Beatrice decided my windmill was, in her words, a visual disruption. My old red barn didn't match their fake farm aesthetic, and my refusal to sell for her so-called wellness enclave made me public enemy number 1. Thing is, I don't live in Juniper Hollow. I don't follow their rules, their covenants, or their homegrown tyranny. My family's deed goes back 3 generations older than their HOA bylaws, older than Beatrice's hair dye, and tougher than any laminated rulebook she could wave around. But that didn't stop her from trying. First it was letters polite at first, then snippy. Then came the courtesy visits. I woke up one morning to find my cottonwoods had been trimmed by a landscaper I'd never met, then got an invoice for $350 in the mail. Next, Beatrice sent compliance agents with clipboards asking about approved exterior materials and, get this, livestock curfews as if my cows punch a time card. One day I caught some guy in my pasture with a laser measure counting my cows like he was doing inventory at a used car lot. When I asked what in the world he thought he was doing, he stammered about property assessment and nearly tripped running back to his car. Pretty soon the HOA's online forum was roasting me rumors everywhere. Suddenly I was running an unlicensed shooting range. My cows were feral livestock. My pond apparently was an attractive nuisance, whatever that means. Then someone airdropped a PDF to my phone titled "Mandatory Offer." They wanted to buy 20 acres for a pool. It read like a ransom note, just with more pastels and fake cheer. But Beatrice wasn't satisfied with just rumors and letters. She filed a nuisance petition with the county claiming my ranch was within the HOA sphere of influence. She attached a forged document, some nonsense about me agreeing to follow their rules for the sake of neighborly harmony. And she threw in grainy, obviously fake evidence of firearms violations, screenshots from a YouTube skeet shooting tutorial filmed God knows where. Then she scheduled an official site inspection, 2 agents, and that drone again. She even called animal control reporting unsafe livestock husbandry. I swear the woman must have thought I was running Jurassic Park out here. That's when I knew I needed to flip the script. I called the sheriff, printed out every agricultural exemption deed and county ordinance I could find, and hung fresh trespass signs all down the fence, big enough for a drone to see. I set my GoPro on the gatepost angled just right. Next time the Subarus showed up with the agents and the drone operator, I was waiting work boots, lace shotgun empty and flagged, and the law already on speed dial. I met them at the fence, told them clear as day, step back from the property line and wait for law enforcement. They froze, looked at the flag on my gun, looked at my working ranch no trespass sign, and I swear one of them started tearing up like they'd just been grounded by the principal. Cows sneezing, chickens clucking. It was almost funny if you could ignore the drones. 15 minutes later, deputies rolled up tough, quiet, and not in the mood for HOA nonsense. They watched the GoPro footage, nodded at my paperwork, then turned to Beatrice's agents. No FAA approval for that drone, no warrant, no legal standing for their inspection. And turns out that nuisance petition hadn't even been properly filed, just a stack of forged papers. The deputies wrote them up for trespassing, canceled the bogus animal control complaint, and told everyone to pack it up and go home. But that was just the warm-up. The county attorney caught wind, sent an investigator for every HOA email mentioning my name or land. Beatrice. God love her, left a paper trail longer than a Sunday sermon. Subject lines like escalation strategy, legal pressure points, coordinated community action against non-conforming property. She could have just called it How to Annoy a Rancher 101. Every email became evidence. When court day came, I filed for a restraining injunction, civil harassment, and damages for crop and fence disturbances. The county district attorney added criminal charges, false filings, unlawful surveillance, and trespass. We played the GoPro video in court clear as daylight, their agent stepping over my fence line drone, swooping over my barn, my calm voice telling them to back up. That orange chamber flag waving in the breeze like I'd planned it. Then came the best part. Beatrice, all pearls and righteous fury, took the witness stand and declared my ranch was incompatible with the Juniper Hollow aesthetic, said property values were suffering because I wouldn't get with the program. The judge boots poking out from under his robe. The type who's baled more hay than she's read bylaws leaned in and asked, "Can you show me any law, statute, or regulation that makes aesthetics more important than a property deed?" Beatrice stuttered. Her lawyer tried to jump in, but the judge cut him off. He granted my injunction right there, fined the HOA $18,000 and seized the drone as evidence. But he didn't stop there. He barred Beatrice and her entire board from contacting me, banned any drone or agent from coming within 100 yards of my land, and prohibited them from using my property in any brochures or development plans. The developer behind that Wellness Enclave deal gone pulled out overnight, probably didn't want any part of a legal firestorm. The consequences came down like a hailstorm in July. Beatrice got the boot as HOA president, emergency vote unanimous. The judge gave her 240 hours of community service at the county fairgrounds, mucking horse stalls under a sign reading authentic agricultural aesthetic. The HOA's insurance company refused to cover her mess, said it was all intentional. That left every house in Juniper Hollow paying a special assessment over $800 a head to cover the fines and legal fees. When the judge read the sentence, Beatrice went pale as a ghost mouth, working like a catfish out of water. Her lawyer had to steady her in the chair. So that's how a rancher in boots and a bathrobe took down an entire HOA empire. You'd think it'd be enough to keep the clipboard brigade at bay, but you never know. Give folks a little power and they forget what fences are for. Let me ask you, if you had neighbors like that, would you fight back or just let them run you over? Drop a comment and tell me what you think. Where's the line between community standards and pure, unfiltered overreach? And if you've got your own HOA horror story, you know what to do. Share it below and don't forget to hit subscribe. Justice sometimes smells a whole lot like cow manure and freedom.